Hi everyone!
We are Team 5 and then we are going to talk about
Water pollution.
Natural resources are minerals or substances given by nature that are used for plenty of uses. There are some of them that are renewable and others don't. We humans have exploited those resources such as wood, minerals, and petroleum. At this rate, we're gonna finish with the planet. We need to do something. With less trees and more cars and factories, the air is getting polluted. Big cities such as Monterrey are living in conditions of 50 to 150 ppm. These are serious numbers because it means we are living bad air filled with toxic particles and CO2 due to the huge traffic that transits the city and factories that send their wastes into the air. 9 out of 10 people are now breathing polluted air, which kills 7 million people every year. The effects of air pollution on health are serious. One third of deaths from stroke, lung cancer, and heart diseases are due to air pollution. It is an effect equivalent to smoking tobacco, and it's more serious than, for example, the effects of ingesting too much salt. Also, one of the most vital resources we have is finishing too. Water is getting harder to get because 70% of the planet is water, but only 3% is fresh water we can drink. This few water for all the 7,575 million people that we are. We are lucky by living in a city with access to clean, fresh water, but many other people aren't so lucky. In Africa, droughts cover huge territories and access to water is difficult. Now imagine the tiny amount of water we have left, getting polluted by trash and spilled oil on oceans. We must do something about this problem before it's too late. That is why we made this report to talk about pollution and the measures we must take to get a solution to this problem that involves all of us. We have our problem, which is the pollution, and we have constructed a hypothesis and got our conclusions about the problem and the solutions.
water is essential to life. It needs not to be spelled out exactly how important it is. Yet, water pollution is one of the most serious ecological threats we face today. Water pollution happens when toxic substances enter water bodies such as lakes, rivers, and oceans, and so on, getting dissolved in them. Lying suspended in the water or depositing on the bed, this degrades the quality of water. Not only does this spell disaster for aquatic ecosystems, the pollutants also seep through and reach the groundwater, which might end up in our households as contaminated water we use in our daily activities, like drinking or also like when you're going to the shower, etc. Water pollution can be caused in a number of ways, but one of the most polluting being city, sewage, and industrial waste discharge. Indirect sources of water pollution include contaminants that enter the water supply from soils or groundwater systems and from the atmosphere via rain. Soils and groundwaters contain the residue of human agricultural practices and also improperly disposed of industrial waste. And to finish this part, the principal consequences of contamination are a lot. We already know that water is the most important resource on the planet. It is essential of all life on Earth. And yet, if you ever see a river or a lake around your city, it will be evident to you that we are facing a very serious problem of water pollution. This type of pollution can have a lot of consequences like diseases, destruction of ecosystems, eutrophication, and some effects on the food chain.
Pollution implicates a serious environmental problem. There has to be a way to reduce it. We have 10 basic things we need to practice in our houses to help diminish its cost. Avoid throwing any type of oil in the sink.
2. Do not dispose chemicals or cleaning agents down the sink.
Do not flush pill, liquid, or powder medications or drugs down the toilet. For recommendations on proper disposal for all types of medical waste.
Avoid using the toilet as a waste basket. Most tissues, such as wipers, dust clothes, and other papers, should be properly discarded in the waste basket. The paper reinforced cleaning products that have become popular should be never discarded in the toilet.
5.
Avoid using a garbage disposal. Keep solid waste solid and make a compost pile from vegetable scraps.
6.
Try to install water efficient toilets soon.
Run the dishwasher or clothes washer only when you have a full load. This conserves electricity and water.
Use the minimum amount of detergent and or bleach when you are washing clothes or dishes. And use only phosphate-free soaps and detergents.
Minimize the use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. Do not dispose of these chemicals, motor oil, or other automotive fluids in the sanitary sewer or storm.
If your home has a sump pump or cellar drain, make certain it does not drain into the sanitary sewer system.
This way, we looked up for a factible solution that involves a kind of treatment for water after it's polluted. Taking in this account, this is not a permission for industries to keep polluting, but a measure that has been applied in order to reduce their consequences. Our idea consists of cleaning water with nanotechnology. There are different studies that prove this is possible, but with a reach of certain contaminants, our idea states that we can do a type of water-resistant product of size of a little ping pong ball that can be accumulating and attract molecules. Science has already made a big change in our lives, helping with great advance in medicine, astronomy, geography, among others. But it's time to consider helping the world and not just humanity. There are several synthetic materials with capacity to retain nanoparticles, for example, heavy metals, oils, and other types of pollutants. We propose to develop these objects made with materials that can possibly be used in water currents and then took out to help clean water.
All the solutions proposed can be tested in our own homes and will produce a positive result, but as our main solution had to focus on water pollution caused by industries, a more extensive research and development is required to test it. With the help of new technologies, we are sure this idea could become a reality, and the product will be a great example for humanity.
To conclude, we can say that humanity has exploited our planet in such a way that we almost destroy it. We need to take actions immediately if we want to diminish the consequences. Most people say it's not a real problem yet, but we need everybody to collaborate so we can make a better place to live.
Bye, everyone!
Se ve mucho. Nada, solo a estar grabando el techo.
Habla.
Not everyone. Like and comment down below if you want more of this.
Like and subscribe.
Of these two. You can follow them in their social medias. Arroba Ricardo Alan.
Leal
With-
Brothers.
Yes.
Arroba Ricardo with double O. Ricardo Alan.